Hello, everyone, and Welcome to Vidane TV's coverage of the SIM500 Transervice Cup Series from Michigan International Speedway. Kevin England here with Paul Strickland Jr. to bring you the live action from one of the raciest tracks on the circuit. And our friend Tim has the night off, so Paul, you're going to be doing double duty.
Yeah, double duty here tonight at Michigan International Speedway here for the Transervice Cup Series, brought to you by SIM500. Very cool to be here. Been watching these guys in practice. I think we're in for a treat here, Kevin. Lots of big pack racing, lots of drafting, lots of different lines here at Michigan, and you can see right there the Eagle 1 number 2 Ford Mustang of Mike Kelly on the pole here. Kevin Brown, last week's winner, on the outside in the 93 car. So lots of big-time names here, 34 cars strong, sitting on pit road, getting ready to take the green flag.
Yeah, this is going to be an elbows-up affair. These drivers can run 2, 3, even 4 wide sometimes at this racetrack. And, you know, I know that going down the backstretch like Indy last week, this car really sucks up to the car in front of it. You get a ton of draft going down the backstretch here at Michigan.
Yeah, great big wide track for these Cup cars. And this racetrack and iRacing always has a special spot for me. And in my soft little heart, as it were, we used to run this track in the Xlander Pro Series. We ran street stocks in Vidane Racing way back in the day before we became a broadcasting Vidane TV. And great racing this racetrack produces, Michigan International Raceway. Like you made mention, couple of different lines, 4, 5, 6 wide. It's going to be great to see, and we're going to be seeing a lot of the drivers fan out, kind of like we saw last week here at Indy. A little bit different shape. It is a big 1.5 oval. Not quite the big squared circle like we saw last week, but still going to be awesome racing here.
Yeah, the track is so wide here, 73 feet, 10-foot apron in the turns, 45 feet on the straightaway, 18 degrees of banking. And given how wide the track is and how much banking, they sail it down in there. Huge speed going through the corners, and with these big sweeping corners, they carry a lot of speed off to the straightaway.
And you can see all 34 of these drivers thundering off pit road, getting caught up to the pace car, getting lined up, and lining them up 2 by 2, getting ready to take that green flag. And really looking forward to this. Going to be able to see who's going to race their way towards the championship battle. We got the playoffs coming up here very, very soon, and very excited to have that. You'll be able to catch the entire season here throughout the entire season. And just a quick story on Mike Kelly, the number 2 car, the pole sitter. 7 races into the season, he was 30th in points, and he had to battle his way all the way up to a potential chase berth with 2 races to go here. And it's really exciting getting into the story right now. He's currently 17th in points, 603 points, 13 points back from the number 13 at David Comstock. So getting down to the wire here for chase season, and it's going to be big. We're going to keep an eye on that number 2 car.
Yeah, and we noticed that Kevin King, Adam Gilliland, Daniel Falkingham all did not qualify. So they're going to start back in the pack here as the pace cars turn left, just about to turn up the wick here for Kelly as he hammers down and heads to turn 1. Not a good start for the 26 of Jose Gonzalez. Had to drop to the apron. Not sure if he missed a gear or what happened, but he's down on the apron as everybody scoots by.
Yeah, you can see it kind of bottlenecks up the field there. We saw Josh Parker, the number 23 car, go down in the apron as well, but I think he was just trying to get a little momentum. Definitely looked like a missed shift, though, for the Goya 26.
Yeah, he's all the way back there with Adam Gilliland. That's how far he's dropped into this field as the field heads through turns 3 and 4 for the first time. As they come out of turn 4, it's still 2, 3, 4 wide racing all the way through the back of the pack. And leading lap number 1, it is going to be Justin Fuller. He squirted out of the draft there. Got a good run to the front straightaway. It leads him into turn 1.
And we can already see here, Kevin, a lot of these drivers electing to take that high side. It's the fast way around the track at this point. Look at that 38 car of Chad Coleman trying to battle his way up into the 2nd position. He's on the outside now of Tyler Dalton. And the number 19 car gets on by him, and he gets right on the back bumper, the 51 car of Justin Fuller, and he brings Kevin Brown up there with him in the 93.
Consider Mike Kelly dropped back to the 6th position, sitting underneath Kyle Tereska, right on the back bumper of Doy Woods, as they have gotten single file 1st, 2nd, 3rd. You have to go back to 4th for the first side-by-side battle.
And Woods side by side here at Michigan, riding on board here with Doyle Woods in that 07. He's taking a good look at that top 5, trying to break his way into it. They're side by side in front of him. That's the 33 of Byron Daly and Tyler Dalton battling for position. And you can see there's about 5 or 6 rows here that are 2x2, and then it's single file on back through to the field.
Yeah, catching up on the 26th of Jose Gonzalez, 23rd position right now. After that unusual start for him, he has dropped back there. He's running right behind Elliot Henderson. Scott Stenzel was a bottom feeder down there, running the bottom over in turns 1 and 2 on the yellow line. It's so cool to see that these drivers can run the bottom, the top, or wherever they need to be on this racetrack.
Yeah, it's pretty much go where your friends are, go where your enemies are not. And you can see a lot of these drivers kind of weaving and bobbing throughout the field and trying to get hooked up. You see Tyler Dalton getting caught in the middle. Contact between he and the 5 car sends Edson up towards the wall, but they hold on to it. Going to lose a couple of positions there in that 5 car. It looks like sliding on back. And you can see, not happy with the 19 car, slides right in front of that nose.
Yeah, these drivers talked about how that right front tire will wear, and also if you drag the left front tire going through the corners, you're turning really hard to get the car to rotate, it'll wear those front tires, and then the car picks up a push. You got to be really careful. Trouble zone at a turn number 4, as much as you're trying to hustle the car into the curve of that front straightaway, you've got 3,600 feet of front straightaway to work with as the car comes off the corner there. But yeah, you got to use all of those front tires to make the car turn as you hustle up out of 4.
And you can see a pair of personal comfort rides. EJ O'Rourke, Scott Stenzel there in the 63 and the 41. Worked together just a little bit there. They pulled down on the bottom side, did a little bit of drafting, got a couple of spots. And you can see our pole sitter, Mike Kelly, loses spots to Kyle Taraska and another one of those personal comfort rides. So they're doing a great job on trying to hold on to the top 10, but sliding backwards is the number 2 car. Needs to focus in on getting as many points as he possibly can, and he does have that number 1 pit stop for starting on the pole here tonight. So we'll see. That 2 crew is definitely hoping that's going to be a benefactor here throughout the evening.
So about a lap or so ago, the 95 of Josh Williams, he's trying to slice his way through the middle. He carves between the 22 of Nelson Rivera and the 19, right on his outside bumper of Tyler Dalton. He's pushing that car. He came up across the nose of Kevin King. He had just enough space to slide it up in there and get that run off of turn number 4. And the 95 looks like a guy on a mission right now.
Speaking of Kevin King, we can see him back here mid-pack. Here's Josh Parker in the 23. The number 22 is back here as well, Nelson Rivera. And the 19 of Dalton, who we saw earlier. Kevin King didn't take a lap time here earlier on in qualifying. So he started about mid-20s or so, up to the 17th position right now, but not moving towards the front as quickly as we've seen Kevin King move to the front. But we'll see what happens. Long race here, 100 laps on the docket, working lap number 8 currently. And racing's been great so far here, Kevin.
Yeah, they are over each other, running nose to tail for that top 5. Give a nod to Jeff Hollingsworth, currently running in that 5th position. The Coast Guard Camaro 97, tucked in behind Kevin DeBrown. And, you know, I have to wonder if this is kind of one of those strategies, Paul, where you race it, say, like a restrictor plate track. Some of these drivers going to hold back and just wait to the end. And you can drive your way through the field here by picking and choosing proper lines.
How about that new car up in the lead? The number 33 of Byron Daly up 11 spots to the lead. You can see he's trying to hold off Justin Fuller right now. And second biggest mover of the race so far, Bobby Wetzel, is up 13 spots in the number 7 position. But a great drive for Byron Daly early on in the first 10 laps here or so.
Daly's been doing a good job at taking advantage of that outside lane, just letting the car float up off the corner. And, you know, he tucked low as he got a good run out of turn number 2, about lap number 6. Drove in under the left rear side of the 51, side draft him, turned down into turn number 3 and took over that position. He looks pretty comfortable up right now in the 33.
So the best of the best in sim racing, doing battle here at Michigan International Speedway for the Transervice Cup Series. And the SIM500 bunch getting ready to do the Winter Series. They've got open spots. You can check them out at sim500.com as well as check them out on Facebook. These guys race every single night of the week, sometimes twice on Sunday, and lots of practice races throughout the week as well. So if you want to take a shot at joining some of the elite sim racers, a lot of these guys have been around, well, as long as you and I have been around here, Kevin, which is a long time when you sit back and look at it. But definitely check these guys out, SIM500.com. And you can also check out all of their races here on Verdane TV over at the YouTube channel, youtube.com. Punch in Verdane TV. Channel pops right up. Over 550 live shows that we've done here in the past year and a half on demand. And just do a quick little search for Sim500. You'll get the Cup Series and you'll get the Throwback Series that we ran on Thursday night that was sponsored by Kick-Ass Beef Jerky. So lots of racing action going on here at Verdane TV. Lots of racing action going on at Sim500. And we're seeing some of the best here at Michigan.
Yeah, let's go around. Saw the 97 of Hollingsworth against the door of the 18 coming of Taraska coming through the corner, literally side by side touching each other. And now the 97 seems to be slipping back as he's under assault. He's got the 23 right underneath him. The 81 of Adam Gilliland goes by. And don't look now, but here comes Kevin King. He's worked his way up into the 11th position.
Picking spots off one by one here, and you can see lots of different racing lines, lots of different racing groups here at Michigan coming out of turn number 4, riding on board with that 97 of Jeff Hollingsworth. And you can see he's got the 22 in front of him. Josh Barker is there, and the Transervice number 30 of Brian Macklin. Having a solid run so far here, locked in, winning the very first race of the season at Daytona, and had a little bit of struggles. He's run really well here throughout the season, but hasn't quite had the finishes. Been caught up in a lot of different wrecks in that number 30 car, but looks to be having a solid night here so far. That's actually the car you drove there in the All-Star race a few weeks back.
Yes, it is. And enjoyed having that opportunity. And last week got to run Indy. Didn't calculate the fuel mileage very well, but this is the race I would have loved to have had a chance at. And you know what? I'm watching these guys out in the back, as we always say. Incredible racing out here in the back. You don't get a lot of credit for how hard you work back here.
Yeah, 100%. You can see the top, we'll call it the top 13 or so are pretty much single file, and you can see they're kind of weaving right up to that outside line, and then it's kind of calamity back here in the second half of the pack. These drivers really studying each other's drafts and trying to follow through the area. You can see Josh Parker doing a good job trying to get up through the field. Currently in the 18th, he slipped back a little bit. A little 3-wide action here as well. Elliott Henderson in the 37, right in front of the David Comstock, the number 43 of Doug Roth, and the 97 there of Jeff Hollingsworth, who slid back just a little bit. There you see Tyler Dalton again in the 19 car, and 3-wide slips on back to 2-wide for now, and it's crazy to see how good the racing's been the first 15 laps here or so, and I think the wick is going to start to get burnt on both ends here as we get closer and closer to the end of the race and you get down to that final pit stop. Lots of excitement here in Michigan.
As the field goes by, everybody looks pretty clean. You know, considering how close quarters you race here, you're right on top of each other, but I see a little damage to the right rear of Tyler Dalton, currently back in that 27th position. Damage will slow you up a little bit. One thing I noticed, if you look back there, Tommy Ryan, Snap Noble Shop, Camaro, 99, running 28th. Right behind him, 3 of Jeff Ryan. And the 8 of Randy Yoakum, the Snap Mobile team, running out in the back of this pack, just, I guess, looking to see if they could avoid calamity, because when you crash here, Paul, if it's in the mix, you tend to take out a lot of cars. These guys trying to give a little space back here, and they'll race a little later.
Yeah, with the banking here and the wide racetrack, it's really tough to get these cars slowed down, especially as quick as they're going. And speaking of quick, how about that 38 car? Chad Coleman up to the point, slid on out in front of Justin Fuller, and it looks like Byron Daly has slipped on back to 3rd. Kyle Taraska 4th, Bobby Wetzel all the way up to the 5th position, up 15 spots here tonight. Joshua Williams, you called him out a few laps ago. He's up 17 spots in that 95 car. Check that, 18 spots as he moves on into 6th. See now Justin Fuller losing that 2nd spot now to Byron Daly, goes around on the outside, riding on board with that number 51, and he's got a good seat here to take a look at the leaders of Chad Coleman, Byron Daly right behind him. Kyle Carrasco, rather, easy enough for me to say, right there in behind the 51 car, and he's Justin Fuller poking down on that bottom, trying to take that second spot back, but that high side, Kevin, seems to be the strong point here, so we'll see if 51 of Fuller, well, he's going to have a little bit of help from his friends here, the 18 of Tarasca, another one of those personal comfort rides, going to push the 51 up into second, and it looks like the 18 might try and follow him down there.
You don't get the opportunity to talk too much about teammates and helping out here, but with the draft being such a factor, if you can have somebody give you a little shove down straightaway, might make the difference to where you can get to the inside quarter and turn under someone here. The draft is really in play as the 33 ducks underneath the 38. Give Byron Daly the point. He's going to slide back up in front of the 38. Can he get him covered? No. Here comes Chad Coleman back to the front. So, well, Byron Daly led from about halfway through turns 1 and 2 to just off of turn 2 is Coleman back out front.
Just for the time being, Justin Fuller with a big move down to the bottom. He's going to drive all the way down the hill on the bottom, down to that yellow line, get that second spot, but doesn't quite have enough steam for the 30 to get around the 38 of Chad Coleman. And that's a move, Kevin, I think we're going to have to put in the notes here for later on tonight. We saw the 33 do it. We saw the 51 do it. They started in the corner way up high, way up by that wall, and made a sharp left turn and drove all the way down to the apron to try and carry as much momentum as they possibly could down to the bottom of the track. And I think if it was a little bit later on in the race, we would have seen a slide job kind of come up and cut Chad Coleman off to take that lead. But working lap number 20 here with 80 laps to go, I think it was just a little bit too early to be doing aggressive moves like that. But at least these drivers are trying things here earlier on in the race. I think we're going to see a lot of racing, a lot of beating and banging here once we come down to 10, 15 laps to go.
Yeah, a tense moment off of turn 2 last time by for Scott Stenzel. He just could not get the car to turn, slid up in alongside his teammate, and then was able to turn the car down, but he lost a lot of gap there. Just had another moment with the 81 of Adam Gilliland trying to get in front of him. I think he had to breathe the throttle a little bit to let Adam come in. These personal comfort cars are on the attack here early at Michigan.
100%. You can see they aren't really kind of racing. Well, I was going to say they aren't really racing in a pack, but there you can see 3 of them right there in a group. The 81, the 63, and the EJ O'Rourke machine, the number 51. Oh, big move for the 88 of Kevin King. Slides out below Justin Fuller. He's going to try and get around him for the 8th spot. Move Kevin King back up into the top 10, or into the top 10 for the first time here tonight after not taking a qualifying lap.
Yeah, King on the bottom had to pinch the car down. Justin Fuller is going to ride around him in the personal comfort forward. Now he goes to the outside on the attack for Brian Macklin. Macklin, just the carnage of cars that he's crashed this season trying to get himself a victory. After the early season good runs, he's just not had any luck. Somebody needs to glue a couple shamrocks on the dashboard of that one.
100%. These personal comfort rides. We'll have to talk to these guys after the race here tonight. I'm in the market for a mattress. You can check out personalcomfortbed.com. They've actually got a Labor Day sale coming up here, up to 60% off. And you think maybe here if it ain't TV, we might be able to they might be able to hook us up a little bit of a discount?
I do believe they'd probably set you up if you gave them a little talk. Yeah. 39 of Daniel Falkingham in lucky 13th position. He's starting to make his presence known. He's climbing up underneath the 41, coming across the front straightaway. EJ O'Rourke is going to drive up there and hold that position. Kevin Brown, he started up front. Really haven't heard too much of him. He's just kind of riding mid-pack right now. You know, these drivers, this is the type of track where you come and you go and you come and you go. There's really no rhyme or reason as to what draft you get, what line you pick, but you can drive back through with a concentrated effort.
Yeah, and it almost looks like there might be a little bit of damage there on the nose of that 93 car, Kevin Brown. We're trying to take a peek at it here on the different camera angles, but doesn't look like it's slowing him up too much. Started on the second. He's currently running just outside the top 10. Another big aggressive move there from the 88 of Kevin King out in front of him by a few stops. He's going to try and pick off 1, 2 cars. He's going to try and pick off 3 more. How about it?
I've down into turn number 1, trying to use all the banking. Car slips a little bit sideways. They're literally door to door coming out of turn number 2, 3 wide. King to the bottom. And look at those cars buffing around in the air. And I was looking at the 93 of Brown. You're correct. Left front tire. And we got one in the fence. The 9 of Bobby Wetzel got turned. Somehow straightened the car up, gathered it up. But we're going to have a caution. Caution number 1 on the speedway here, lap 25.
Yeah, a couple of cars around involved there, and there you can see Joey Katina down on the grass. It doesn't look like he hit anything. He's just down there trying to avoid the mayhem here. But we're going to pull up the Kong Beer Bong instant replay for the very first time here tonight and find out exactly what went down. And we started to see these drivers kind of get a little bit on the aggressive side here, some aggressive bumping a little bit side by side. We saw a couple of the personal comfort rides get together just a bit. But we'll take a look here from the spotter stand as we pull up this replay and focus in on the 88 car here. Kind of comes down. He's 3 wide right here. Slides up just a little bit coming out of the corner. And you can see he gets into the 9 car there as well. The 51 car, Justin Fuller, big run up the middle. So there was the initial contact, and you can see the 51 actually gets into the 63, puts him up into the wall. The 30 of Brian Macklin involved there. Daniel Falkingham, a big hit on the nose. How about that 10 car sliding on through and doing a little twirly bit there with Richard Beasley? That's a tough break for him. Can't seem to get a good finish. We'll back that up one more time and take a peek at that number 10 Tide ride. And you can see just tried to get that thing slowed up, but really nowhere to go. The 44 Glenn Campbell gets into the back of him. Doug Roth, he gets a piece of it. There you see Joey Gattina, he gets a piece as well. And it's going to be a long road to hoe for a lot of these drivers. And we can already see down on pit lane, busy place. Looks like the entire field down there for service, Kevin.
Yeah, probably the driver that took the biggest hit, Richard Beasley. The car pirouetted through the air off the ground. Back TV panels missing from that car. 4 tires and fuel, but they're going to have to do a lot of beating and banging with the hammers as it's feeding time at the zoo. Everybody's going to come and get tires in this lap 25 caution. When you look at it, these drivers, tire set limit 4 tires, including the ones they start with. It's 25 laps, 25 laps, 25 laps, 25 laps. So perfect timing from a tire standpoint, but yeah, a lot of drivers going to be fixing some damage here, Paul.
100%. You can see Chad Coleman wins the race off pit road. Everybody taking 4 tires. You can see right around in the mid 14-second range for the pit stop times. Byron Daly in third, Taraska second, Taraska third, Williams fourth, and Kevin King all the way up to 5th after that stop. He's up 17 spots on the night so far. Working lap number 27, and you can see there's still half a dozen cars or so down on pit road getting some damage virtually banged out there with the hammers.
Yeah, some discussion on the radio about netcode for this. Justin Fuller had some commentary coming across his radios. I see Jose Gonzalez down there on pit road trying to get some damage. Back at a Goya can is munched in there. Boy, I tell you, a lot of cars got hammered in that one, Paul.
For sure, and it looks like we're actually having a quickie yellow here as the lights are already off on the iRacing pace car and lining these guys up 2 by 2. That's good news for the fans getting ready to watch some green flag racing. Not quite the best news for some of those drivers that are still down on pit road trying to get some of the damage banged out, and you can see a lot of the field still trying to catch up to the back of the field. Chad Coleman out front, Byron Daly, Kyle Taraska, Joshua Williams, and Kevin King, the top 5.
Yeah, not sure what was watching the pole sitter, the 2 of Mike Kelly, whether he got any damage in that. The back of the car looks clean. The front left corner has got a little bit of damage, but otherwise it doesn't look too bad. Hopefully that won't deter his ability to run in the draft and carry the speed.
And it's interesting to see here because Jose Gonzalez, 15th in points, and we saw definitely had a lot of damage on that Goya can number 26 car. And David Comstock in the 13th, currently sitting in the 16th spot in points. Looking through the timing and scoring here. Where is Comstock running in that 13 car? He's up in the 6th spot. So it's going to be interesting to see here. Mike Kelly in the number 2 car has his work cut out for him. We made mention starting off the show here, tonight's pole sitter, 13 points out of the championship chase, the top 16. But green flag in the air, hammer down for Chad Coleman in the 38. He's going to get a good jump here on Byron Daly.
Yellow goes back in the holder as the green is out. They go past the stricken car, the 19 of Tyler Dalton's down on the apron as the field streams by. Out front, it is the 38. He's able to jump out and cover that position. He's got the Byron Daly, number 33, pushing him down the backstretch with Taraska. Single file. Comstock to the outside of the 88 of Kevin King with a good run into turn 3. To the outside is the 23 of Josh Parker. Parker, kind of quiet tonight, but that car looks clean, and he's running in the top 10.
Yeah, Parker started about mid-pack. He's up 7 spots here tonight on the in the number 23 Interstate Battery, Joe Gibbs Racing Bud Light car. And you can see he's definitely, he's pretty much kind of following through and running about halfway up the racetrack, following these guys through, doing his homework a little bit, I would say, trying to study which lines work better, how he's going to get up towards the front. And you can see he's got a little bit of breathing room in front of him, a little bit of breathing room behind him, and well, that breathing room in front of him just disappeared as he moves right up to the back bumper, taking a peek down low underneath the number 13 of David Comstock.
Good run right now for the 11th driver. That is Joey Jatina. He slips past the number 5. And he got a little tap in that. He was running out in the back. We had talked about those drivers kind of hiding in the back there, hoping they were going to miss the big one. And while we saw Joey got a little knock on that, car looks clean, and he's currently sitting right outside or right inside that top 10, depending on where they are on the racetrack. 5 of Trey Edson jumps up in front of him. They're single file all the way through the 11th position. Jatina right now running to that high side where he's got the 81 of Adam Gilliland down on the yellow line.
Yeah, it looks like he's got a pretty fast car there for number 14 of an ATVSim500.com car there, and it looks very quick. You see, he still seems like he's got a little bit in the tank. He's running that high side, taking care of the tires, taking care of the car, and not really pressing the issue here too much, but it's good to see the boss man running up towards the front just outside the top 10.
Big drop for the 97, wiggles down to the front straightaway or down to the back straightaway apron. Not sure what was going on with Jeff Hollingsworth, whether that car stepped out. I'm just going to go back and take a peek at what the sense is there. Did he bang the wall coming up out of turn 2?
Didn't
no,
quite
just turned it down.
Yeah, kind of turned down, and you can see that outside groove riding on board here with the 97 car. The outside groove is just super quick. Freight training all the way around. You can see Toy Wood's going to get around. Oh, contact! One of the personal comfort cars. I believe it's the 41 of EJ O'Rourke. Big sideways. Still sideways. Gets in Mike Kelly just a little bit. They save it. They hold on to it. Big wiggle for the 41. Going to lose a lot of momentum here.
Yeah, right behind him, Brian Macklin in the 30. The rear of that car is missing with almost no spoiler to speak of. That car has got to be a handful going in the draft. No rear traction whatsoever for that car.
And we've seen Brian Macklin struggle throughout a lot of the season here, trying to get, he's run very well, but unfortunately has been caught up in a lot of incidents here throughout the SIM500 Transervice Cup Series. He's got Transervice on the hood, so it's always good to have those guys on board. Check those guys out on Facebook. Just do a quick search for Transervice Logistics, and they pop right up. Big-time supporter here of SIM500 and Vidane TV, and we want to thank them for supporting those who support us. And you can see Brian Macklin still holding on about mid-pack, running 23rd. He's dropped quite a bit from where he started, but he's going to do the best he can with that damage. I believe he is still, in fact, locked in with that victory. There you see the 10-car Richard Beasley rejoining the field of multiple laps down with some damage from that last wreck.
I like where Randy Yoakum is running right now in the 14th position, just hanging off that top group, giving a little bit of space in front of him, giving a little space behind him. If something happens, you can find an exit lane and just kind of patiently riding right there with that top group. Good strategy here for Michigan.
And a good run for Glenn Campbell there, too, in the number 44 car. Car looks clean. So far, so good. You can see he's trying to make the bottom side work, but there's just so many cars hooked up, drafting together on the outside line. And you can see a little bit further ahead of him is the number 5 of Trey Edson. Stuck in the bottom all by himself. He can really drive down the corners and gain just a little bit of time, but here on the exit, Going to lose a lot of spots here. Well, not going to lose a lot of spots, but it loses a lot of momentum as these drivers are hooked up nose to tail. You can see the 93 gets back by Kevin King in the 88. He gets back by. But as he gets into the corner, again, drives down into the corner. So it's really tough to see. There's going to be a couple of different strategies, I think, as this race goes on and we get a little bit closer to the end. Because you can really, really abuse the tires, get down on that bottom side, make up some ground. But if you've got a couple of cars that are hooked up on the high side, you might not be able to get up and around him. You can see Josh Parker moving up even further up towards the high side, up in that fourth spot, trying to catch up to the leader there, Chad Coleman in the 38.
You have so many ways to drive this racetrack. You could let off early and let the car roll down the banking, then come up off the corner and use the draft to drive you up into the pack once again, as Daniel Falkingham absolutely sideways over there in turn 3. He might have got a little help from the 44 turning in, and I don't know how he saved that car. So we got one car in the grass, the 18 of Taraska, spinning through to pit road.
Whew! Holds on
And he
to
saved it. How did he do that?
Losing all of the spots, though. The entire field coming on by, again, around the 18 of Kyle Taraska. That could have been a whole lot worse. Big time heads up driving for the 18 of Kyle Taraska. Going to rejoin the field here. Looks like when it's all said and done, he's going to try and slide up in behind Tommy Ryan there in the number 99 car, back to the 28th position. There you see Bobby Wetzel back here as well after running up towards the front. But battle for the lead started and finished. Byron Daly moves that 33 car up in front of Chad Coleman for the new leader, and Josh Parker right there now in the 23 car, easy enough for me to say. He's moved himself up into third.
Outside run for turns 1 and 2 for Byron Daly. Got to the door, drove off the corner with all the speed and momentum, and he's going to take over the lead here one more time. He a little bit earlier, and right now comes back to the back. Chad Coleman behind him. It seems these two could be working together. I have to wonder if Coleman let him go by so he could save some fuel by running in the draft.
Yeah, we saw last week in India, similar distance track here to Michigan. We saw a lot of fuel mileage kind of play out. A little bit of short pitting, so we might see some of that here once the race gets a little bit further on. You made mention 4 sets of tires here tonight. That could very well be a factor as well, as we see Kevin King moving himself up, making himself the second Kevin in the top 5, trying to get up and around. Whoa, he gets a little bit of contact there. It looks like with the 81 car, slides on back, didn't quite catch the entire thing. A caution flag is going to come out, and it looks like Kevin Brown is around.
It was Kevin Brown he made contact with. Kevin King moved up, tried to get that side draft on the 93, and the car just wiggled, went out to the right, snagged the 93, just flat turned him sideways on the straightaway. Brown spun down to the apron, did not hit anything. He's able to grab a gear, and he's going to drive off. But we're under yellow here on lap number 40.
Taking a peek here at the Kong Beer Bong instant replay. Kevin called out all the details there. Does a great job holding on to it. A little bit of puff of smoke underneath that car, but I believe that was just kind of residual tire smoke. You can see kind of weaving back and forth, making sure everything is still connected to that race car. So Kevin Brown is going to live to fight another lap. It's just going to take just a little bit of time to get back up towards the field. And working lap number 41 here. We saw the last caution, well, just about 20 laps ago. So I think pit road's going to be a busy race here, busy place here.
Listening to the radio there to see what's going on. The Kevin and Kevins are having a little bit of a conversation after that incidental contact. And, these drivers talking about how much the cars are buffeting in the wind. Now, we know they have 2 sets of tires. Ideally, you would pit on lap 50, but we're lap 41. Kevin Brown's going to have to come in. And this is a reset for Taraska. After that spin down through the grass, he can go get some service to his car and get back in the pack. And his race isn't over by stretches. Yeah, a lot of cars coming to pit road. See the 39 of Falkingham in and out. I wonder if he just took 2 tires there.
Definitely a possibility. Looks like the very same here for the 33 of Byron Daly. Going to win the race.
are times when his internet connection doesn't work very well and his car blinks in and out. And whenever he's in proximity, some drivers get a little nervous. Not sure if that had a factor in that, but I'm sure they can have that discussion afterwards. Let's reset the field for you. Out front behind the pace car, Josh Parker is going to pick up the lead in this exchange. Parker out front for the first time tonight. Right behind him is the 81 of Adam Gilliland. The 95, Josh Williams, sitting in third. Fourth is David Comstock in the 13. Glenn Campbell in the top 5 for the first time tonight. 44 has had an adventurous night. Right behind him is the 14 of Joey Jatina. And you go back through, these are the drivers that appear to have not pitted. 51 of Justin Fuller is right behind him. And then the 22 of Nelson Rivera. You got Jose Gonzalez in 9th, and rounding out your top 10 for the restart is Byron Daly. Yes, these drivers have to collect their headspace at this point, get themselves back into focus as they roll down the backstretch, getting ready for the restart. And Paul, pace car has picked them up, but these drivers, some of them a little testy here.
Yeah, with the high speeds here, and it's really a high speed chess match here at Michigan International Speedway. There's so many different lines, and a lot of these drivers utilize the iRacing spotter package, where the in-game spotter kind of tells you where the cars are, where you are. Some drivers use real life spotters as well. They kind of jump in and use the voice chat, but not everybody has that ability. So a lot of drivers trying to battle for the same piece of real estate doesn't necessarily work. Just like in real life, you can't have multiple cars in the same spot.
Rack 'em, stack 'em, and pack 'em. We're going to go again. 2 by 2 by 2 by 2. Pace car safe behind the wall as the green flag comes out. And the field marches off to turn number 1. Watching the Doug Roth 18th position, sitting there looking at all these guys head to turn number 1. He's got the car right in front of him of Brian Macklin with no rear bumper. That's got to be disconcerting on the restart.
100%. We're getting the video feed brought back up here. We apologize for the inconvenience, but clean and green here. We're going to lap number 44. Adam Gilliland gets down underneath Josh Parker for that lead. Looks like he's going to try and bring Joshua Williams there in number 95 car. It's up 21 spots there, 22 spots for Adam Gilliland. And you can see he's going to come thundering on. He's using that high side now that he's out front. Clean air on the nose to number 81.
P1 of Gilliland, lap 45 for the first time. Right behind him is the 23, Josh Parker. Parker has led, would like to get back out front again. And one of the things that you can count on, Paul, is if you're out front, they can slice the dice out in the back of the pack all you want. I'm out here and I'm clean as they're, well, 3 wide for about 6th or 7th as the 14 gets sideways right in front of the field, gets tapped. Nelson Rivera against the wall, and Joey Jatina able to gather it up. Looks like no caution, but that car is pancaked on the right side.
We always talk about some of the heads-up driving here with the SIM500 Transervice Cup Series. Just about to call out Joey Jatina, running up in the top 5, gets that thing completely 90 degrees sideways, bounces off a couple of cars. Everybody collects it back up. We're still clean and green at this point, but heartbreak for number 14. The boss man, Joey Jatina, struggling now with some damage in that 14 car.
Yeah, I believe he's going to have to stop by the 95 hauler after that one. Looks like the 95 comes up into the door of the 14, and that spread the field out quite a bit, Paul. Everybody is taking evasive action over there in turns 3 and 4. The front group has gotten away. There's a second pack. There's a third small little cluster, and then everybody else is spread out here. This has the making, when it gets like this, of a long green flag run.
Absolutely, and a lot of these drivers kind of, it's almost instinct when you see smoke in front of you or a car sideways like that, like we saw Joey in the number 14 car. They kind of let off the throttle a bit, maybe hammer on the brakes, do some evasive maneuvers because they think the caution flag is going to come out. Most times it does when we have something as big as that happen, but green flag stays out. As you made mention earlier, the caution flag stays in the holster. We're still green. Working lap number 48, just about halfway with Adam Gilliland out front.
Now you have to wonder if these drivers are aware of the situation and how spread out the field is. and whether or not they feel like they can run away and hide. If I'm in that position and I've got my crew chief in my ear, I'm not going to pull out side by side. I'm just going to tuck in behind the car behind me and see if I can, or in front of me, and run quite a bit. Doy Woods in that sixth position turns underneath the number 38, carves that yellow line out of turn number 4. He's going to use the banking to his advantage, drives underneath the 33 of Byron, and coming across the line, he got a good run, but he's going to give it all back. That top line has all the momentum.
A lot of back and forth between the high line and the low line, and we got to take a peek here. Give a call to Kevin Brown in the 93. Has driven all the way back up into the top 10, running in the 9th position. And you can see he's right there in front of Kevin King. Kevin King on the outside. And there you see the 93 all over the back bumper now of the 07 at Doy Woods, trying to push him up towards the front. Fast car for the 93 car.
Yeah, and right in front of them in that mix is the number 2. Even with the damage that Mike Kelly has sitting in that draft, the car is able to carry through. Wow, did they stack up, come out of... They're 4 wide here on the front straightaway.
Yeah, 3, 4, 5 wide here in Michigan. And just like Indianapolis last week, we saw these drivers, once they get to the front stretch, they really fan out to try and gain as much momentum as they can. You can even see here in 1 and 2, we're still 3, 4 wide. Lots of different lines here in Michigan. Every single inch of this racetrack getting used by these drivers. And the 93 still all over the back bumper of the 07 of Doy Woods, trying to move both of those cars up towards the front. A little bit of contact between Kevin Brown and the 33 of Byron Daly. But, man, look at that 93 car. Somebody call Elon Musk. He's got one of those Falcon 9 rockets underneath that thing.
Yeah, it was first and second, and then 3 wide, 3 wide, 3 wide going down the backstretch last time by. And they're in that formation again. It looks like fighter jets going into turn number 1. I saw Mike Kelly up in the middle of that mix decide, well, maybe I should go down to the bottom. So if things are going to clear out up top, I can drive down underneath it. He had a little nervous. Now he's down to the bottom. It does not seem that the bottom is your friend here tonight, Paul.
No, and we made mention, I think on clean tires or fresh tires, some of these drivers might be able to really attack the bottom side of the road. How about that 07 car all the way up to the lead now in front of Chad Coleman, Kevin Brown, now the new third-place driver, Kyle Tarasca down in the bottom. 3 wide into turn number 1 here. Kevin Brown in the middle, Tarasca down on the low side, and the 81 up towards the top. Adam Gillen in the personal comfort ride, trying to use the momentum on the high side, catch up to the back bumper of the 38, but Doy Woods out front. Kevin Brown's coming, though.
Doy Woods had about 3 or 4 car lengths, probably the biggest lead we've seen all night long as Kyle Tarasca tucks in behind him. Tarasca not a leader yet tonight. Doy Woods, 7th leader, and this is what the draft will give you, Paul. Drivers get good runs. They're able to take advantage of that, jump up front, and right now it looks like Tarasca wants his turn.
And there you can see the 18 car all over the back bumper of the 07. Going to shoot up on the high side. The 07 is going to utilize the middle, and the 18 is going to think better of it as the caution flag at number 3 comes out. Looks like Kevin King may be off track.
Yeah, Kong Beer Bang replay is going to show that Kevin King got a little bit of help, and boy, hard contact on the left-hand side.
So we'll back this up for the Kong Beer Bong instant replay. Usually used to seeing Kevin King out front, and he's raced his way up without taking a qualifying lap. He's raced his way up all the way to the top 5 at this point in time. And we'll take a look here at the Kong Beer Bong instant replay from the spotter stand. You can see he's right behind the 81 of Adam Gillen. He's got Josh Parker down on the bottom side, running in the 6th spot, and you can see that's that physics deal. A couple of cars going for the same piece of real estate. The 23 and the 88 make a little bit of contact. You see the 88 tags the inside safer barrier there down on pit road. A little bit of damage there on the 88 car on the Jace Concepts ride. We'll see what he can do down on pit road with the virtual hammers.
Yeah, left side, especially that spoiler, is bent over there on the 88, and I suspect in the draft he is going to be okay, but pretty hard hit for the number 88 there in turn 1.
So it's been about 14 laps or so, maybe 13 since the last pit stop here, just past halfway on lap number 54. We did have 8 or 9 drivers or so elect to stay out on the last caution. So I think, Kevin, we'll see those drivers come down, get 4 tires, take their time, kind of work on any maybe damage that they've got on the car, and We'll see what happens here as the pace car's still collecting the field here. Doy Woods out front. You can see Kevin Brown gives up the third spot. Doy Woods, Kyle Taraska stays out. Looks like everybody else coming down pit road.
Kind of surprises me. You get to lap 50, I would imagine these drivers would have gone in for tires. Exchanged number 2, but behind them, Kevin Brown leads the parade. He's the first one down, trying to find his pit stop, and he's going to drop in and get service. We'll see whether or not these drivers are going to opt for all 4 tires. Right now, it looks like fuel only for Kevin Brown. Don't see any tires going on. He's down and away.
So he comes in third and he leaves third. Mike Kelly going to come out fourth as well. We'll take a look here at the pit stop times. Kind of a telltale to see who did what. You see the top 2 drivers stayed out. Fuel only for the next 3 drivers, Kevin Brown, Mike Kelly, and Doug Roth. They come out 6 or 7 second pit stops, and you can see it looks like 2 tires for Byron Daly in the 33, and Chad Coleman coming out 7th here, the first driver to take 4 tires with a 14.8. David Gillen, Josh Williams, and E.J. O'Rourke rounding out the top 10 as they come off pit road.
Kind of surprised at that call, Paul. Unless they took their second set already, I would imagine that most drivers would love to have fresh tires. It so much helps with the cut on turning down into the corner and able to hold the car off the corner. The car just turns so much better with fresh tires, and given we're at lap 55, I would think that second set should go on, but maybe some of these drivers saving these tires to the end?
Definitely a possibility. We've seen Doy Woods run really well here. We've only talked to him a couple of times with podium finishes here in the SIM500 Transervice Cup Series, and not quite sure where he's at in the points. If he's trying to get into the playoffs here, we can definitely double check the stats on that. Byron Daly and Scott Stenzel looks like they're going to come back down pit road. A couple of drivers as well: Tommy Ryan, Randy Yoakum, Charles Woods, Elliot Henderson coming down to get additional service to those machines. And there you can see the iRacing pace car lights are already off. We're lining them up 2 by 2 all the way through. Doy Woods down low, Kyle Taraska up on the high side.
30 cars still on the lead lap. Ron Hollifield, Joey Jatina, and Richard Beasley look like they have retired for the night. And as we restack them here for this lap 56 restart, good run for Doy Woods, Kyle Taraska. They've been up front all night long. Kevin Brown has had a good car underneath of Mike Kelly back into that top 5. And I've just got to say, we have not heard anything out of Daniel Falkingham. Not sure if the car is injured or if he's just kind of pacing himself out in the back. Typically by this time of the race, Paul, he's somewhere up in that top 5. He's currently running 28th.
Yeah, we've seen glimpses of that 39 car. Definitely has seen a lot of battle wounds here throughout the evening. Lots of damage on the right front, the front bumper, and the rear. I'm not quite sure where that damage came from, but the 39 car trying to hold on at least for a finish here tonight. Running all the way back in 28th, started towards the back of the field here without that qualifying run. But you can see the iRacing pace car going to take that left-hand turn down to the safety of pit road. Doy Woods down low, Taraska up on the high side. And that is the jump. That is the restart that the 07 needs. Already has 4, 5, 6 car lengths, that 07 over the 18.
Field streaks to turn number 1 for the restart. And I'm just going to take a peek and see what kind of RPMs that 39 is running. On entry, the corner 7,400. It's 7,600 for Yoakum going in. So I have to wonder if that 39 is down on a little bit of horsepower. When you ride inside these cars, Paul, such a different view from our camera views. You'd see the car right in front of you, but you really have a closed view of what's going on the track. It's so intimate.
Yeah, 100%. We can see 3 wide now, 4 fourth position. Josh Williams down on the bottom side, one of the personal comfort rides in the middle. Adam Gilliland's going to gain that position. He's going to try and bring the 41 with him up through the center, but it doesn't quite work. Joshua Williams comes in there. Big sideways for the 5 car of Trey Edson down in the bottom, trying to make some magic happen. The 3 car of Ryan closing in up, and here comes Josh Parker as well. Things are getting heated up here with 42 laps to go.
Let's see if we can go an in-car shot. Let's pick Kelly, the number 2, if we can, is up trouble on the front straightaway, the 51. absolutely sideways. But when you go inside the cars, you could see that there's just not a lot of sensibility as to what's going on in front of you. A lot of times when you're tucked in that car behind you, it masks everything that's going on out front. As the two comes off the corner, you really can't see any of what's going on. And then you get that big run, you come into the corner, and all of a sudden you see cars sideways or you see cars changing lanes. It really is sometimes drive-by feel.
And you can see from the outside of the car, it looks like these drivers nice and smooth in turns 3 and 4, coming out of turn 4 here as well. But you can see just Mike Kelly in that 2 car absolutely sawing on that wheel to make sure he's got the smoothest entry and exit. So lots of different things to focus in on inside these cockpits.
And we say it every week. You drive so hard out in the back of the pack. When you look at the 38 who has come back to the front, Coleman, he just turns his car in, hits the marks. Adam Gilliland following in his tire tracks, but these other guys out in the back are elbows up as Coleman has the 31 behind him. Trey Edson has worked his way into that 3rd position. And, you know, as much as you could say it, Josh Williams kept that car clean so far, just kind of riding in the top 5 here. Has not pushed up to lead here tonight, but is keeping himself out in front of the melee.
The old Giller slides on down, Adam Gilliland to the point. We've seen that move a couple of times throughout the night, but we didn't quite see it get capped off. And made mention, as soon as this race gets a little bit further on towards the back half of it, we might see some of that slide job action. There was a little bit of room between the 38 and the 81, and Adam Gilliland slides on up in front of Chad Coleman. But that 38 car, very, very strong here tonight. There you see Trey Edson strong as well in the number 5 car, and the 95 of Josh Williams up 20 spots, running in the 4th position. Up 20 spots, he's actually the 2nd biggest gainer so far here tonight. Jeff Ryan in the number 3, he's up 24 spots from where he started. So big time moves for a lot of these guys.
Top cars have broken away. Then there's another gaggle of about 5 to 6 cars. Some of these cars in the 2nd group, like Brian Macklin, sporting a lot of damage, but still seem a little bit racy. The 97 of Hollingsworth is on the apron over in turn number 3, dives down underneath. He's going to take over that position from Jeff Ryan, slide him up to the 7th position. What a run over there in turn 3. He just took everything track was going to give him and used it.
Working lap 63 here at the top of the hour. We want to thank everybody here for tuning in to Verdane TV. We're watching the Transervice Cup Series from the SIM500 League here on every single Monday night. I'm Showtime Paul Strickland Jr. That's Kevin England over there. Tim Terry with the night off. Had a little bit of a triple header up in Maritime Canada doing some racing up there. You can always check out his news stories and postings over at Tim's Corner CA. And he'll be with us Wednesday night for the Tim's Corner Live edition. I believe it's episode number 28 for the podcast of the Maritimes. You'll be able to check out all the racing news for Maritime Canada. Adam Gilliland holding on to the lead. Chad Coleman, Trey Edson, Joshua Williams, and now Josh Parker up in the top 5.
Watching this little tussle back here for about the 10th, 11th, 12th position. Kyle Taraska trying to see if he can get himself through this little group here. Was low, got left, car didn't stick. He had to back out of it a little bit right now, trying to chase down the 30 of Brian Macklin right in front of them. Bobby Wetzel trying to make what has been an eventful night for the number 9. We saw him against the fence over on the backstretch earlier, but he's able to keep that car going. It looks like this 2nd group is starting to run down that 1st pack.
Yeah, once these drivers get lined up single file, bumper to bumper, they're really going to be able to make up some groove and kind of rejoin and make one big pack here as we're working. 35 laps to go here at Michigan in the Transervice Cup Series. And look at that 9 car. I love that paint scheme, a little chrome action, chrome and flat black with a red stripe going on through it. One of my favorite paint schemes here on Monday nights here for the Transervice Cup Series. And we've seen him up towards the front. We've seen him in the back. Currently holding on to 12th position, trying to fight his way into the top 10. But don't call it over yet. That 9 car, very, very fast here.
We don't do this very often, but let's see if we can make some picks. Who do you think is going to win this thing tonight?
You know, I really got to give it to the 38 car, Chad Coleman. We usually see him run kind of mid-pack. He'll get into the top 10. Some of the tracks he's had some really good runs. We've talked to him a couple of times here on the post-race show for the top 3 being in the podium, and really seems to have this place figured out as you ride on board with the 38. I think Chad Coleman's going to come home with the win.
This is one of those tracks where it's elbows up, and I think the guy that's going to wrestle to the ground is somebody who's good in these situations. I'm going with E.J. O'Rourke. I think he's going to get the win tonight.
Definitely a good pick. The 41 car currently running in the 6th spot in the personal comfort number 41 Camaro, and we've seen EJ run well. Very similar racetracks here to Michigan, and he's right out in front of Josh Parker right now. And there you can see the number 3 car of Jeff Ryan in the 8th, and kind of just nose to tail right now, but definitely doing their homework, trying to see who's running where, trying to see how they can get themselves up towards the front.
Speaking of hauling the mail, got to give a call to Charles Woods. Running 15th right now. The car is crystal clean. Looks spectacular. Just keeping his nose clean, working his way through here. He's running with Kyle Taraska and the 9 of Bobby Wetzel. And he's just having a great ride in that USPS.com Camaro.
Yeah, kind of minding his P's and Q's. You can see giving a little bit of room there to Bobby Wetzel and Kyle Taraska as they're side by side in front of him. And it's almost a rare occurrence to see a car with no damage here at Michigan this evening. Lots of bumper car action. We've seen a couple of cars up in the wall, but for the most part, clean and green. Just a couple of cautions throughout the evening. The heartbreak for the 14, the boss man of Joey Gattina, gets all the way up to the to the top 5, pardon me, and unfortunate events have parked that car down on pit road. Caution flag didn't come out, didn't get a chance to work on that thing down on pit lane, but there you can see that battle still side by side between Taraska and Wetzel, but that U.S. Postal car just drove right around.
Yep, just picked the lane and got it, and you know what was 2, like a marriage, has become 1. We see the second group has caught the first group, and as soon as they got there, they're starting to duck out, get a little bit racy. You got Josh Parker in that Max. Justin Fuller's there. They're tucked into the back bumper of E.J. O'Rourke, who we were just talking to. And, you know, Jeff Hollingsworth, he just still sitting right there in that top 5.
Having a good run so far in that 97. Still Adam Gilliland out front. You can see a pair of personal comfort rides working together on that high side between the 51 and the 41. They think better of it. 41's going to slide on down. He's going to come back up and see if he can work with his teammate there. Still Adam Gilliland out front. Chad Coleman, Trey Etz, and Josh Williams, and Jeff Hollingsworth, he just made mention, rounding out the top 5.
It seems like every week when we come here, we're talking about the 39 and the 88, both of them not having the run they want right now. The 88 of Kevin King back in that 26th position. He spent a lot of time fixing the car, currently off the draft, maybe looking for a caution, but nothing going on for Kevin King tonight. He's going to just see if he can finish these laps out and get out of Michigan. Not going to be the result he was looking for. Yeah, to that high side, he had the momentum off of turn number 2. He's going to be able to pull up alongside and secure that position after sweeping low on the front straightaway. And you could give him the 6th position, front 5 running nose to tail out of turn number 4. Hollingsworth car does not get grip in the front, slides up a little bit. Pretty common scenario out of turn number 4, but everybody else looks pretty good as here comes Josh Parker on the charge. He's worked his way to 6. You know, some of these drivers that got involved in that melee on the backstretch going into turn 3 took a couple hits. And it looks like Brian Macklin was one of them, but the back of the car is missing. But you know what? That didn't impact the motor underneath as he bangs into the fourth one and gets him sideways out of turn number 4. But Macklin, if he's in the draft, he's able to stay there, as now the 41 trying to stem some of that damage, keep the 33 of Byron Daly behind him. That was an interesting little mix over there in 3 and 4.
Slicing and dicing all the way around this cookie cutter track on board with the 33 of Byron Daly. You can see they've got some distance to catch back up to that front pack, but they're not going to do it fighting like this. Drivers back and forth, slicing, dicing all over the racetrack. It looks like they're single file now at this point, so we'll see if these 4 cars can catch the top 6 or 7 cars. Jeff Hollingsworth still holding on to the back of that draft there, right behind on the bumper in the tire tracks of the number 51 of Justin Fuller. That's a good spot to be in. Justin Fuller, one of the quick guys here in the Cup Series.
Yeah, Fuller, textbook draft out of turn number 2 last time, pulled up, got alongside the 97, side draft, pulled him back, executed that pass, and now maybe the 97 can do it to him as the 95 ducks back in line there. Single file, running down the back stretch on the entry to turn number 3, cut down into the banking, run right above that first seam, let the car drift up out of turn number 4, all the way to the fence if you can let it eat, and down the front straightaway as we click off lap number 76. When you get to the last quarter of this race, Paul, as crazy as the action has been, it's about to pick up.
100%, 24 laps to go as we cross the stripe that time by, and you can see still Adam Gilliland out front, Chad Coleman right behind him, Trey Edson, easy enough for me to say, running in the 3rd spot. Josh Parker been fast all night. He's in the 4th spot. Joshua Williams, big time gainer, 19 spots here, running in the top 5.
7 cars running nose to tail in that front draft. The second group led by Byron Daly, who's been fast all night long, trying to see if he could track him down. I think he's just a skosh too far behind these guys to take advantage. But if he can get the 3 of Jeff Ryan to work with him, stay with him, as anybody pulls out in that front group, it's got to be an advantage to Byron Daly. I believe we can have a 10-car group in that top by the end of the race.
Big move by the 23 of Josh Parker, and it looks like we're going to see it again. Something amiss with the 81 car. Seems to have slipped up just a little bit. Josh Parker to the point. Chad Coleman going to slide on down to the bottom side, see if he can capitalize. The 81 looking all the way up towards the top. Josh Parker's going to follow him up there from the front. See if he can hold on to it. Josh Williams now on the back bumper of the 38 of Chad Coleman, trying to give him a little bit of push on the bottom side. We'll see what it does in the corners. Doesn't quite work in the straightaway. The 81 tries to dip on down low. There's no room there. Chad Coleman is there. The 23 now going to move to the bottom side to try and block that line. Josh Parker up to the point.
Parker out front after Adam Gilliland has led since lap 62. And this is going to be good news for Byron Daly. He was 1.3 seconds back with these drivers slicing and dicing in this front pack. He's cut that down by 0.3. Byron Daly's on the charge, and he's bringing Jeff Ryan with him.
He's got 3 drivers tucked in behind him, trying to gain access to that lead pack draft. And with these guys slicing and dicing for position, definitely an opportunity to make this one great big pack. Josh Parker still out front, side by side for second. Chad Coleman down on the bottom side. Adam Gilliland up on the top. And you can see once we hit the back straight, Josh Parker in the 23 car back and forth, almost like it's a Daytona Talladega type deal, blocking the draft, trying to pull these 2 lines up together evenly so they don't gain an advantage. Now 3 wide for second is Josh Williams. Big move down in the bottom, riding on board with them all the way down to that white line as we cross the stripe. 20 laps to go. Business is about to pick up, Kevin.
Justin Fuller pulled up, tucked on the back bumper of the 5 of Trey Edson, was able to make that outside lane 3 cars on a freight train. That pushed that outside lane to the advantage as Fuller comes up for 4th. He's going to take advantage as the 95 slips coming off of turn number 2. Cuts back in line in front of Jeff Hollingsworth. He's got to give a little wave because Hollingsworth could have shipped him there. And this has brought the 33 and the others playing right to the back bumper as the 33 went around the 38, and now here comes Jeff Ryan, here comes Brian Macklin, and here comes EJ O'Rourke. Running 11th, we had 11-car breakaway.
And then there were 11. Getting into the later parts of this race, one great big pack up towards the front. As the guys up front battling for position gave enough time and enough draft to that second pack to catch right up. And you can see Byron Daly is absolutely on a mission in that 33 car. He's moved up currently in the 7th spot, up 5 spots from where he qualified earlier on tonight. A battle for the lead. Adam Gilliland going to poke his nose down on the bottom side, slide on up in front of Josh Parker in the 25 or the 23 car, and the 5 car right on the back bumper of Josh Parker in 3rd.
I'll take P1, thank you very much. There goes the 81 back out front, still side by side, back for about 6th position. Diving down into turn number 1, using all the banking. Tire wear is going to start to be coming into play as these drivers are just going to use every ounce of grip they can up out of the corner to get the run.
So Adam Gillen out front, Josh Parker, Trey Edson, Justin Fuller, Jeff Hollingsworth. The top 5 currently, Byron Daly all the way up to 6th place now in the 33 car after leading the charge with that second pack, gaining all the track position back up to close these cars back up to an 11-car pack. And you can see different lines being used, high side, low side, middle side, somewhere in between there. And you can see not much pressure from 11th, 12th on back, as it's pretty well spread out, the action all up front in these top 11 cars.
Thing we haven't talked about is we're not really sure. No one would tell us what the fuel mileage was going to be in this race. Wow,
big
Five has just carved his way in front of the 97 of Hollingsworth, but I have to wonder if there's one more pit stop in our future. Can these drivers make it to the end? I'm not sure.
Yeah, after last week's fuel mileage race at Indy, we're 3 wide now for, I believe, 2nd position. Jeff Hollingsworth, how about that 97 car all the way up to 2nd using that high side to get that position? But after the fuel mileage race at Indy last week, a lot of these drivers mum's the word. None of the crew chiefs and drivers didn't want to tell us just how many laps they could make on a pit stop on a full fuel load. So we did see some drivers come down, take fuel only last time. There are some drivers that still have tires on pit road. I don't know if we're going to have enough time to maybe see if tires are going to play a factor here with 16 laps to go. Check that. But, yeah, we might see some green flag pit stops. Going to be very interesting here. Some drivers, the 5 car, another big wiggle as he slides up in behind that 97 car, pushing him on the outside.
I just can't see how it's going to work with these drivers. As much as the cars are moving around in the air, as much as they're trying to take every inch of racetrack, sooner or later there's going to be some bent sheet metal coming up out of the corner here. I'm just astonished that we've gotten this far. They are all over each other coming down the backstretch.
15 laps to go, getting close to the checkered flag here. Adam Gilliland still out front. Great run for Jeff Hollingsworth so far in the 97 car. He's up in 2nd. Then side by side for 3rd, Byron Daly, Josh Parker, Joshua Williams, Justin Fuller, Chad Coleman, Brian Macklin moving on up to 9th, and EJ O'Rourke rounding out the top 10. Oh, contact in a car around. Byron Daly holds on to it, it looks like, in the 33 car. And we're still under green. How?
How did it even happen? He was completely sideways, and he almost didn't lose any momentum going through the corner. That was astonishing. That is the save of the year for Byron Daly.
Heads up driving here in the SIM500 Transervice Cup Series. You can see Joshua Williams in a 95 car sliding back to the 11th spot. The other driver involved in that incident. But man, really sawing on that wheel. Caution flag is in fact going to come out at this point for a different incident. It looks like Bobby Wetzel in the 9 car off the pace, and there you see him in the backstretch. Dog walking that car. We're going to have to take a peek at this. This is going to get interesting, Kevin, because this gives these drivers an opportunity to come down pit road. 4 tires, 2 tires, fuel only. It's going to be a strategy here.
Yeah, the 9 got wrapped up in another incident over there when the 44 got in the wall. But, man, I'll tell you what, this is going to be rather interesting. We'll go to the Kong Beer Bong replay and show you that incident over in turn number 2.
Yeah, you can see the 44 car off the pace, and oh, Doug Ross kind of tags the 9 car, sends the Wetzel machine spinning around, kind of a lazy spin, and grabs the brakes just to make sure everything's attached there. But a lot of smoke coming out from underneath that 9 car. That's going to be a tough break for the Bobby Wetzel crew.
I didn't even know that was in the damage model. That car is completely crab walking going down the back straightaway. If you follow it from the back, it's just astonishing what it looks like.
So 13 laps to go, working lap caution number 4. We can see the entire field has come down pit road. That answers the question here for us. Everybody down on pit road getting service. It's going to be a question of 2 tires, 4 tires, fuel only. I don't know if I could make that call myself as a crew chief.
Yeah, certainly right side tires would be an advantage as Beasley stays out, and so did the 19 of Tyler Dalton. First one off of pit road, 41, EJ O'Rourke. Personal comfort Camaro over in turn number 2, about to come back to the racing surface, and I think he's going to pick up the lead here for the restart.
Yeah, we'll take a look at these pit stop times to race off pit road. There you see a pair of personal comfort rides. EJ O'Rourke, Justin Fuller, and Adam Gill in a three-car pack of personal comfort up front. Jeff Hollingsworth in 4th, Josh Parker in 5th, Edson Coleman, Daly Ryan, and Macklin the top 10 off pit road. And looks like it's fuel only potentially for EJ O'Rourke. 2 tires for Fuller. Everybody in behind them, 4 tires and fuel for the final 12 laps of this race here. We're probably going to get the restart with about 11 to go here, Kevin.
Yeah, it didn't make sense for EJ O'Rourke as he went through that pit lane so fast. I couldn't see how he stopped, and when I went back and looked at the replay, missed his pit stall or chose not to hit it. Drove right through. No service on the number 41. We'll see whether he comes back this time and turns it left down on the road. And yeah, he's going to lose a lot of track position. Pit mistake costly for EJ O'Rourke as far as track position goes. He's going to take that Camaro back into the service for his pit crew. Missed his pit box, and he's going to pay the price for it here with just a handful of laps to go.
And you can see Justin Fuller coming back down pit road as well. He took 2 tires. I think he thought better of it. May as well put 4 tires on it. And you see he's going to come to a stop in his lane and putting right side tires on. Probably going to put left side tires on as well. But as the lights turn off on the iRacing pace car, we're getting everybody lined up 2 by 2 here up towards the front. Going to be Adam Gillen holding on to the lead. Jeff Hollingsworth in 2nd. Trey Edson, Josh Parker, Byron Daly, Chad Coleman, Jeff Ryan, Brian Macklin, Joshua Williams, and Tommy Ryan in the 99 car. Rounding out the top 10, getting a restart with 10 laps to go. Everybody's got fresh tires. Everybody's got enough fuel. All up to the driver and the cars at this point for the final 10 laps here at Michigan.
I'd almost slap a $20 bill on the table to say they don't make it back to the start-finish line. But I'll tell you what, this is a welcome relief for a lot of these drivers. I'm looking at Mike Kelly, who's currently running 15th, out of the running completely before this yellow. Now he's going to be right there with that lead pack. And, you know, you make a good move to the outside, you cut correctly down to the bottom, you miss a little something, and next thing you know, you could find yourself winning this thing. Don't count out the 51 and the 41. They could come from the back, too.
100%. Those personal comfort rides always fast no matter where they are. And you can see the iRacing pace car going to make that left-hand turn. Setting them loose here one more time, potentially. And I don't know about that $20 bet. You might be right. I don't know if we're done wrecking with the yellows, but we'll see what happens. Big jump from the outside. Adam Gillen holding on to the lead, bringing the 5 car of Trey Edson with him, bringing the 33 of Byron Daly up on the high side as well. Clean and green as we head on down into turn number 1.
Fans are on their feet as the cars march off of turn number 2, side by side for about that 4th, 5th position. Big run down on the bottom for the 23 of Josh Parker. Can he get back up and get the clean run in? And ding, 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 ding. Pick my $20 up. I'm pretty good.
Yeah, we can see one of the Snap Mobile cars around. It looked like Randy Yoakum in the number 8 car. Slides on around. Doesn't look like the damage is too bad, but we'll pull up the Kong Beer Bong instant replay, take a peek at what happened to the 8 car. We got the tape all rewound here, and it looks like a little bit of contact. They were 3 wide with the 26 of the Goya can there of Jose Gonzalez and a 37 car as well. Randy Yoakum up in the center between those two cars, and it looks like as he came out of the corner, tried to move down to the bottom side, and just a little bit of contact with the nose of the 26 sends him in on around, and just taps that inside wall a little bit with the left side of the race car, but keeps that thing going, keeps it off the grass. Not much damage, but it's going to be a tough road to hoe for that 8 car. Going to be restarting in the back of the pack there in 29th. Still on the lead lap. 29 cars on the lead lap.
Down the bottom, they're going to do their best to get up to the fence over here.
And video issues once again here. Having some internet issues. Looks like we got a little bit of storm happening in the area, so we're going to get that video feed back up and running here and get to the end of this race. Business really going to pick up here with just a few laps here to go at Michigan, and really getting close to playoff time here for the SIM500 Transervice Cup Series. And we're going to be able to see, hopefully by the end of the show, depending on how quickly we can get the points updated, we'll see just how tight that points battle is. We saw earlier on here tonight, Mike Kelly, the pole sitter, trying to race his way into the top 16 in points, currently about mid-pack, back in the, I believe it was a 22nd.
Spectacular run here tonight at Michigan.
Yeah, going to be getting the restart here with 6 laps to go, and I don't have a $20 bill, but I'll put a 10 on the table to say I don't think we're done wrecking here. Adam Gill and Jeff Hollingsworth out front. We got to give a call to that 97 car. Great run here tonight. Don't usually see him run up towards the front. He's in a fast car here all night long, and definitely want to give a shout out to the 14 of Joey Gattino running up in the top 5 earlier on tonight, having a great run, but unfortunately caught up in an incident and parked down in the garage area watching here on Vidane TV. But there goes the pace car. He's going to slide on down the pit road, the safety of pit road. We wait. Green flag in the air. Adam Gilliland hard on that throttle. You can see the bottom side really bunching up, trying to get those bumpers lined up and get a little bit of a push. Josh Parker in the 23 all over the back bumper of the 97 of Hollingsworth, trying to get him pushed up towards the lead. Byron Daly leading the charge on the high side.
They are door-to-door, side-by-side, out of turn number 2. Big runs for several of the drivers. The 38 of Chad Coleman trying to get back into that top 5 run as the 95 of Josh Williams swings down. They're 4 wide going into turn number 3. Big bump. The 30 gets bumped out. Trey Edson going to duck through in that lane. They're 3 wide for the run here out of turn number 4. I don't know who's going to lead the slip. Looks like maybe Gilliland to the outside by a nose.
3 wide for the lead. Josh Parker down on the high side, down on the bottom side. Adam Gilliland in the middle, and Jeff Hollingsworth up on the high side. Give the lead out of that turn to Adam Gilliland, but Josh Parker charging in on the bottom. I think he's got 4 fresh tires on that race car, thundering down the backstretch with the entire field, weaving and bobbing as the entire field. 1 car up in the wall. He gets back out of it, still clean and green. Josh Parker to the point.
95 swings up wide, opens up that bottom line. Here comes Charles Woods underneath the number 3 of Jeff Ryan. The 33 is on the apron, down on the front stretch, comes back up to the racetrack so he can turn in to 1. And look at Brian Macklin with the damage hunting right there in the 7th position.
I got to tell you, Kevin, I would hate to be a spotter here tonight. There are cars everywhere. 87 wide here at Michigan International Raceway. 1 car up the wall. That's the pole sitter, Mike Kelly, right in front of the 26 car, still clean and green, 2x2 all the way throughout the field. Chad Coleman all the way up to the top 5. He's got a fast car trying to get back up to the lead, side by side for the lead. Speaking of which, you can see Josh Parker up on the high side, little bit of a wiggle. Big move from Byron Daly down in 3rd place, going to drive all the way down to the bottom of the racetrack. Side by side for the lead. Contact between the leaders. Josh Parker going to try and block the 33 of Byron Daly. Doesn't have it. We're 4 wide for the lead, Kevin. Contact!
33 is sideways, 23 is sideways, 95 is sideways, and it's a dog pile into turn number 2. And a lot of cars going to get caught up in this, as it just was inevitable that they were going to pile them in.
Give me my $10 back. Caution flag number 7 here on the night, going to set us up for a green-white checkered, but we're absolutely going to have to check out what happened here. Very intense racing up in the front of the pack for the front 7 cars or so. As we get this thing rewound, we see the damaged cars go all the way back to the 07 of Doy Woods, so a tough break for him as well. But Man, we're going to back this up, Kevin. We're going to take a look from the spotter stand, and we're actually going to slow this down just a bit because there is a lot happening here. Running about quarter speed as we go into turn number one. There you see the big move from the 33 of the Byron Daly machine. Goes in, tries to make it 3 wide for the lead, and you can see the contact now 4 wide for second here. 38 Chad Coleman all the way down on the bottom side. There's the initial contact between the 97 and the 38. Chad holds on. He goes down underneath the yellow line to hold on to the car. The 97 slides on up, collects the 33, collects the 22, or the 23 rather, and it looks like he's going to squeak on by without getting spun around, but the 33 collects the 23, the 95 is involved, and the 5 gets a piece of it. There you see 3, 4 wide. Tommy Ryan gets by. How about Brian Macklin in the 30 car? He gets by barely by the squeak of his nose, but an unfortunate event for a lot of fast cars up towards the front here. There you see the 47 car. He gets a piece of the 23 and the outside wall there as well. Josh Williams still getting hit by cars going on by. So Adam Gilliland and Chad Coleman out front, 1 and 2. Green-white checker here in Michigan. This is going to be interesting for the Transervice Cup Series.
The rack about to do it all over again. They took out a couple of the key players, but it's still enough competition right up in that top group to say this is going to be wild.
100%. I don't believe we're going to see any of these leaders come down pit road or give up any of the track position. But man, oh man, as we reset the field here, Adam Gilliland out front. My pick, Chad Coleman. He's running second in that 38 car. There you see a car going by to get the free pass. Jeff Hollingsworth and the 97, a solid run here in the third position. Jeff Ryan, Trey Edson rounding out the top 5. Kevin Brown, where'd he come from? He's up into 6th. Brian Macklin, we saw him get through that in 7th. Kyle Taraska, Tommy Ryans, and Charles Woods in the 40 car rounding out the top 10. 3 laps to go. Once we take the green flag here, Kevin, this is going to be insane.
Yeah, notice Justin Fuller, he's worked his way back to 12th from deep in the pack. This is going to help his efforts out and see if he can get a run from the outside. And you're right, it's going to be just insanity. And, looking at Kevin Brown, what a run he's had to come back in here. He was deep in the pack. I cannot understand how Trey Edson has continued to be up in that top group with the rear of his car all bashed in.
Yeah, we've seen some heads-up driving from the 5 car as well. So 33 of Byron Daly, some evasive maneuvers to avoid getting those cars tore up. And that's why we see these guys here Monday nights on Vidane TV, the best of the best in sim racing. And they're showing it here at Michigan. Yeah, we've had a couple of cautions, but we've had a lot of incidents that could have been a whole lot bigger. But with the heads-up driving and really sawing on these wheels, going to make for some great racing here. Final couple of laps, Adam Gilliland taking the bottom side on this restart. I don't know if that's a smart move. Chad Coleman very strong on the high side. We'll see what happens here. Kevin Brown up there as well, the 3 of Jeff Ryan on the high side. It's going to be the high side versus the low side versus probably 2 middle lines, and then there's probably going to be a line underneath the yellow line, and there might be somebody that goes up over the wall to try and get around the racetrack. We're going to see one heck of a finish here in the Transervice Cup Series at Michigan.
Yeah, the wild card in that top pack is Jeff Ryan. No top 5s, no top 10s, but if he wins this thing, they're going to tear the grandstand down. He's got Kevin Brown behind him, who's going to give him an amazing push. And it's just going to be interesting to see how this plays out. When they come out of turn number 2, it might tell the tale as to how this thing is going to go. And, it's great to see Jeff Ryan up there and to see the 97 of Hollingsworth. A couple of drivers we don't get to see run up front too much. They got a shot at the win here, and it's legit.
Still 26 cars on the lead lap as we're looking at the timing and scoring. So there's still 26 cars that could potentially win this race. But I think Adam Gilliland, Chad Coleman, Jeff Hollingsworth, Jeff Ryan, Trey Edson, the top 5 drivers have the best shot to win. There goes the pace car. He's going down on pit road. There's the green flag. Going to get a jump for Adam Gilliland down on the bottom side. Business is about to pick up. Popsicle sticks in the air. Chad Coleman going to dip on down to the bottom side, right in behind the 81 of Adam Gilliland as they thunder into turn number 1.
Contact for Ryan. He's going to go out and get crunched to the outside wall. Yellow's going to come out, and we'll have green-white checkered number 2. Tough break for the number 3 as we'll go back to the replay. What a shame for Jeff.
Yeah, what a shame for Jeff, and it's a good thing this is a simulator because that was a massive, massive hit. We're gonna take a look at the Kong Beer Bong instant replay once again here, and you'll see the action. They head on down to turn number one. Everything looks good, but then there's contact between the 3 and the 5, and Kevin Brown up in there as well. Hard hit for both the 93, and then another hit for the 3 cars. Doug Roth in the 43 car thunders in to the side of that race car. That's definitely a tough break for Jeff Ryan. Not going to be the finish that team was looking for.
Yeah, Charles Wood got destroyed in that too, and that's a shame for him. He was having such a good run in that car, and now the car is just mashed all the way through. But yep, this is what we expected, Paul. We said when we came into this race that this is an elbows up racetrack, and it's just inevitable that in the tight space with everybody trying to go for the win here, you're going to see a lot of contact. Now they're going to reset for green, white, checkered number 2 of 2. And this time, we're going to find ourselves a winner.
100%. You can see the field rejoining the pace car here. We reset it one more time. Again, I don't think anybody's going to come down pit road. Maybe some of the drivers back towards the back of the pack, but Adam Gillen, Chad Coleman, Jeff Hollingsworth, Trey Edson, Brian Macklin in the 30 car up to the top 5. Kyle Taraska, Tommy Ryan, Justin Fuller, David Comstock, and Mike Kelly, the pole sitter, rounding out the top 10. And that's kind of good news for Mike Kelly, tonight's pole sitter, but he's right outside the top 16 in points, fighting David Comstock for that position. And those guys are right in behind, 1 point per position here in the SIM500 Cup Series. So not quite the night that Mike Kelly wants to see. He wants to try and come home with a victory, or try and come home with a good points night. But if Dave Comstock is right in there with him, it's going to be tough to try and gain any kinds of points. Taking a quick peek at the schedule, we've got race 26 next week at Daytona International Speedway, 100 laps at Daytona, and you can't drop that race. It's going to be a barn burner coming down to it. So Mike Kelly, David Comstock, Jose Gonzalez right around the bubble. Those guys are heading in to almost a must-win scenario at Daytona next week.
Yeah, Adam Gilliland with 4 wins on the season. Last win, June 28, 2021. Race 2 of the Pocono doubleheader was the last time Gilliland, for the 38 of Chad Coleman, he's looking for victory number 1 and to cement himself into the final championship with a win going in. And tell you what, he's given it a good run here tonight. The question is, he's got to have the restart. Can he get the restart he needs to get around the 81?
We've seen the 81 strong all night long, up towards the front. Has been driven around a lot of race cars here tonight. He's up 22 spots from where he qualified. Changing it up just a little bit. This time he's going to try the outside line, and that's going to put Chad Coleman leading the bottom of the racetrack, and Trey Edson up on the high side as well, in behind the leader. 2 to go as we cross the stripe once again, and you made mention this is the second and final green-white checkered attempt here. The next flag is going to restart this race, and the flag after that going to call us a winner.
What if he chose that to see if he can get the 5 behind him versus the 97, a known entity of a driver that's going to push him off on the restart? Or maybe he just felt like the high line was a better option. He tried the low line on that last restart, and, well, this is going to get interesting. Looking at Kyle Taraska's car, pretty clean, sitting back there in that 6th position. Wonder if he's going to scrap himself to a win. You got the 51 of Justin Fuller. He came from 12th to 8th, and he's in the hunt there with the personal comfort number 51. And how about Tommy Ryan? Car looks clean as could be, and he's sitting there in 7th. And that's just close enough, Paul, to possibly get yourself a victory here.
Absolutely, and we can't forget about Brian Macklin in the 30 car, damaged earlier on here this evening, involved in a couple of different incidents. Almost had to write him off earlier on in the race, but he's running in 6th. He's on the inside right now, taking the restart. Going to get 2 laps to go once again. There goes the pace car jumping down pit road for the final time. Adam Gillen up high, Chad Coleman down low. Great restart for the 81. Thunders on by that high side, going to motor on by 4 cars strong. And 3 of those guys are, in fact, personal comfort rides. Chad Coleman struggling down on the bottom side to try and keep up with those leaders, but Adam Gillen takes the lead.
Nebraska jumps out of line, goes down low, disposes of the 5 car, and he's going to bring Chad Coleman with him. It is Kyle Taraska looking for the victory here, tucked on the back bumper of Adam Gilliland through turn 3 and 4 clean. No caution yet as they come out of turn 4 for the final. How about Mike Kelly to 8th position? Now he's running in 5th. Good run for him with Kevin King pushing him through. It is going to be top 4 running nose to tail at turn 1.
White flag, a white rag. Chad Coleman, big move down in the second. He's going to look down low underneath the 81 of Adam Gilliland, trying to get around in the lead. Might see some contact. Chad Coleman to the point, gets a little bit of a push, a big push now from Brian Macklin as they're side by side down the backstretch heading into turn number 3.
Side draft attempt for the 81 as Coleman drives it in hard. The 30 of Macklin right to the back bumper. He's going to be able to give the push to Coleman. Coleman out of turn number 4 drives ahead. Macklin trying to give the push there, banging and beating, but it's going to be Chad Coleman at the line for the win.
How about that 38 car? They're wrecking as they cross the stripe mid-pack. Everybody's wrecking. Kevin King, big damage. Coming home, it looks like in the 8th position. Still wrecking as we're past the... Pardon me, past the start-finish line. But how about it? First win on the season for the 38 of Chad Coleman in that tap-out tuning car.
If I'm Chad Coleman, I'm going to wander over at some point and give a pat on the back to the 30 of Brian Macklin. Macklin shoved him down the straightaway, and that gave him the advantage he needed into turn number 3. And he was just able to get that car to turn down on the seam and drive it up out of turn 4. The 81 tried to drive down and side draft, but it was too late. The 38 had enough of an advantage, and I think it was a matter of inches at the line for Chad Coleman to get his first victory of the season.
Absolutely, burning it down, doing some burnouts on the grass, on the pavement, everybody on their feet here at Michigan International Speedway. The first win on the season here for Chad Coleman. I got a feeling they're going to end up having to swap that motor out because he is burning that thing down.
Coleman's had a really good season, quiet season. He's not been putting huge finishes and points and whatever, but, if there is a label that you can give Chad Coleman, it's Mr. Consistency. 3 top 5s, 9 top 10s, and now he's got himself a victory. And, yeah, I think he did burn that thing down over there.
Yeah, taking a look down there on the start-finish line. My pick to win, and I called it. He blew up the motor doing his burnouts. Chad Coleman, the winner here at Michigan. First win on the season for the Transervice SIM500 Cup Series. Chad, how about it, man? What a finish.
That was awesome. That was a hell of a race back to the line with Adam. On the restart there, I was talking to a couple of guys in the Discord with us, and I told them, I was like, I think I'm screwed here. I looked on the relative and seen that everybody behind me except for one car was teammates, and luckily 2 or 3 of them had damage, so we just put it on the floor right there and did the side draft with Adam, and luckily he didn't have anybody to shove him back by me.
And a great run to the line, and a great run for the 38s all the way throughout the race, fast here at Michigan. Is that practice? Is this just one of your favorite racetracks? Talk to us. How did you come in here tonight? How high was the confidence level?
Honestly, it was pretty high with we getting to run the old folks league on Thursday now, since we're a little advanced age for the sim racing people. And I learned a lot in that race. Learned a whole lot. And I knew about what I could do, what I couldn't do, and it paid off. I mean, I run the Cup car about 2 times a week now. One's Thursdays and one's Mondays. A lot of these guys have they're a lot more up to date on what this car can and can't do. And we're learning a little bit on that Thursday night deal, so it helps a lot. I've noticed a big difference in my competitiveness on Mondays. This is a really competitive league with the top 12 to 15 guys, and it feels really damn good to finally win one. It's been a while.
100%. With that, it locks you into the playoffs, so you can go into Daytona, the final race of the regular season. Kind of go out and have a little bit of fun, try for a victory, try a couple of different things, have to put the points racing in behind us. You got anything for Daytona next week?
Just like here, we'll put her down and see if we can't win another one, or maybe help one of the other guys get locked in.
Definitely going to be an entertaining race here next week. Congratulations, Chad. First win on the season here for the SIM500 Transervice Cup Series. Who makes it happen for the 38 crew? Who gets you to and from the virtual racetrack?
Oh man! First and foremost, I got to thank Michael Sharp. He decided that he wanted to get into the car owner side of this deal. And honestly, this year I felt like we've had good speed. We've just had some bad luck, and then some tracks we've underperformed at. But he kept telling me, he's like, man, you got the speed to run with these guys. He's like, you've always been, fast enough to be all right. He's like, luck will turn around. And it did. Luck turned around. We found ourselves in a good spot tonight with not a whole lot of damage on the car. So got to thank him. Got to thank Tap Out Tuning, the Cadillac V Performance Academy. Got to thank all those guys. All those guys were associated with Michael Sharp, with our Michael Sharp racing team. And got to thank my teammate, Sharp Lanza teammate with Byron Daly. I mean, we kind of had a plan for the end. He got wiped out in that mess in turn one. And all the guys down in Discord, Beasley, Doy, Daniel, David, all those guys, Josh Parker and Adam. I mean, everybody helps. So also, thank you guys. I'll definitely go back and watch this one. From the in-car, it looked pretty good.
And it looked great up here from the broadcast booth as well. Congratulations, Chad. Locked into the playoffs, going for that championship this year.
Yeah, thanks, man.
We're going to slide it on down pit road just a little bit further. Kevin England caught up with our second-place driver, Adam Gilliland.
Adam, when you look over there at the scoreboard, it doesn't really show you how close this was. 0.001 margin of victory.
Yeah, that's really all that needs to be said. It was a heck of a race there coming down at the end with me and Chad. Really sucks to lose one that close, but I really expected him to run me up the track or try to side draft. So I went up as high as possible to try to time the side draft and get as far back on his car as possible at the quarter panel, and I just got way too far back before I realized that he was running the apron pretty much, and I was doing everything I could to at least make it that close, but just needed another 2 feet of racetrack, and I think we flip-flopped there. But congrats to Chad. Happy to see him win that race. Yeah.
Watched you come off 4, we watched you go high, and then we saw you realize that the 38 was down there. Try to drive down and side draft him, and it was just about what the splitter sticks out from the front bumper as the margin of victory. It couldn't got any closer than that. Take us through your race all night long. It was one of those yo-yo races where you were up, you were down, and certainly a lot of extracurricular activity going on there in the middle of that event.
Yeah, in these type of races, I try to be as aggressive as possible. I had a little bit of damage there at the end that might have, contributed that 1,000th. It's easy to find 1,000th if you look at it anyway. But I was being aggressive all night. I ruffled a few feathers probably with Kevin and a few other guys, but the goal was to treat it like a super pseudo race and try to lead as many laps as possible, especially with how important clean air was. So we were being aggressive all night, and that led to a few incidents there, but it was looking pretty good at the end. We had a few of us lined up there, and it was Chad and Josh and Byron versus me, Trey, and I think Macklin might have been up there. It was shaping up to be a pretty fun little duel between our teams.
It did look like a personal comfort parade there a couple of times. Were you guys working together purposely or just found each other on the racetrack?
Oh, everything in these things is about numbers, especially with this type of racing. Like at the end, you could see Josh and Chad let Josh up to drag back. I tried to get back to them before they formed a big enough run, and I might have backed off too far, and Josh was able to get by, but I was able to get my group reformed and get a line going. That's just a product of these type of races. If you'd have told me a couple of years back, or even 3 years ago, probably that we'd be pack racing and tandeming and side drafting at Michigan, I'd have said you're crazy. But that's the thing we're dealt with, and we have. We went from having 4 super speedway races a year to close to 10 now. That's just that's what this current package produces.
Well, missed it by just that much, but a second place, that's not too bad, not too shabby. Heading to Daytona, and what do you got for these guys for the championship?
I feel pretty good. It's been a pretty crappy last couple months and whatnot, but I think we'll have everything figured out before we get to the playoffs. I really like the selection of tracks we got there, and we'll go have fun at Daytona next week. Try to collect another win, and we'll go championship hunting.
Take a quick moment, Adam, to give a shout out to those who support you.
Yep, sure thing. Just got to thank Scott Stencil, Personal Comfort, everything he does for us. Sponsors quite a few of us. As always, Brendan Mercer and Gary Mercer Trucking. He's been around for years on my car, and I really enjoy running those blue and silver colors. And last but not least, you guys at Vidane TV for putting this on every week. Really enjoy going back and watch the broadcast.
There you go. Second place tonight by just that much. Go celebrate with your crew, and thanks for taking the time to talk to us, Adam.
Yep, thanks, guys.
Paul Strickland's caught up with your third place finisher. Been a while since we chatted with him. He's with Kyle Taraska.
Got another one of those personal comfort rides coming home in the third spot, fast 18 car all night. Kyle, congratulations, man. Great run in coming home third, man. Talk to us about your race.
Well, it's just good to be back. I took some time off there. I served my time for a mistake I made in the past, and then took some additional time off after that. So last week at Indy didn't go the way I wanted to, but this package was a lot of fun at Michigan tonight, and it was fun to race around these guys and a lot of aggressive racing. And really it was just back and forth, and some tire strategy came into play. I decided to take a chance and take tires early on, about midway through the race, and it kind of screwed me up on how the cautions fell, and I fell all the way back, and then just got lucky restarting on the top a couple of times at the end. And, again, just tried to work my way up to the front, and I, really thought I had a chance to beat Adam there at the end of the race and set myself up for it to be him and I. And Chad just had a huge run on us going into one, and he was able to keep it down there all the way around the track. So it was a good run for him. And, but overall, it was great to be back and good to be competitive.
Solid effort here tonight, coming home on the podium in third place. You made mention aggressive racing, but for the most part, clean racing throughout the evening here tonight. And congratulations on the third place run here. Better finish than Indy last week for sure. We know you got Personal Comfort on the hood. Who else makes it happen for that 18 crew?
Yeah, well, definitely Scott Stenzel and Personal Comfort. They sponsor. He also helps with my TQ Midget Racing as well, and it's a great company. I have a Personal Comfort mattress, and it's definitely one of the best things that I've ever bought, and my wife will agree with that. So if you are in the market for a bed, please look into Personal Comfort. Fantastic sleep air number mattresses. Chick-fil-A, gotta love Chick-fil-A. My pleasure. They also sponsor my TQ Midget, and we got them on the car as well. But in all seriousness, just all my buddies on our team speak. Everyone on the team from Macklin to Adam, EJ, Fuller, Trey, Scott, as we mentioned, Josh, whole bunch of guys over there. That's really the reason why I do this, is to race with them and for no other reason. So it's nice for all of us to get together on a Monday night and, shoot the crap and run some laps. So good run.
Absolutely, and it's always fun finishing in the top three, especially in this competitive race league here with the SIM500 Transervice Cup Series. Congratulations, man. Great run. Third place.
Thank you. I dedicate it to Kevin King.
100%. Kevin, great run here tonight. Great race in Michigan. These guys put on a phenomenal show here on Vidane TV every single Monday night. And Chad Coleman, I think that's the first time in the year and a half that Vidane TV has been a thing where I've actually picked the winner accurately.
Pretty darn good. Yeah, my guy was nowhere in sight. And you know what? I feel good about that because, as much as Chad Coleman supports all these series, it's nice to see him get a win on a Monday night.
Absolutely. Definitely a fan favorite. Chad Coleman, you heard him. He runs the Old Folks League here on Thursday night. Been around the sim racing community for a very long time, so it's always cool to see some of the old dogs come home in victory lane. Taking a peek now on the upcoming schedule. Wednesday night, little doubleheader action. Tim's Corner Motorsports bringing us Tim's Corner live. Be able to check out the guest lineup here on the Tim's Corner Motorsports Facebook page. I think Tim's sleeping right now. Had a triple header up there in Maritime, Canada. 3 different racetracks, 3 different shows. So definitely getting burning the midnight oil up there in Nova Scotia. Right after that, the Loose Lugs Racing League. They're coming back Wednesday night, 9:05 p.m. start time. Thursday night, the Multi-League Cup Series League with a guest announcer, Randy the Plumber, returning for that race. Going to be calling the action there at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. And you can see the New England, Pennsylvania iRacing Shift Marketing and Design Grand National Series, longest series title here on Verdane TV. They're coming back October 5th. Big time hype coming up for that Daytona race. The entire season is sponsored, but they're still looking for some marketing partners to kind of fill in the gaps throughout the season. So if you're interested, shoot us a message on Facebook. Shoot those guys a message on Facebook. Absolutely going to bring the thunder. Every single one of those drivers is either a late model driver, they're a pit crew guy, a track worker here in the New England area. So lots of fun there. Going to be a big time show starting October 5th. Thursday nights, Wednesday nights, Monday nights. The schedule's a little bit jumbled up, but you'll be able to check that out over on the Verdane TV Facebook page. But we're going to call it a night. I am Showtime Paul Strickland Jr. alongside Kevin England. You just watched the Transervice SIM500 Cup Series Monday night. Heading into Daytona next week, the very final race of the regular season. 100 laps on the docket for that race, and we're going to find out which 16 of these drivers are going to be eligible for the championship as we head off into the playoffs. That's going to do it here for us tonight on a Monday night. We'll catch you on the flip side. When we do, we're going to be doing it live.